In a courtroom altercation that exposed deep-seated biases, a police officer unleashed a vicious kick on a black woman during proceedings, only to stand paralyzed moments later as she disclosed her position as his newly appointed police chief, a revelation that upended the entire department. Officer Marcus Riley had served with the Denver Police Department for over 15 years, building a reputation for tough enforcement in high-crime areas. At 48 years old, he had risen to the rank of sergeant, overseeing patrols in diverse neighborhoods. However, internal records later revealed a pattern of complaints against him, including allegations of racial profiling and excessive force, though none had previously resulted in formal discipline. On that day in October 2023, Riley was in court to testify in a routine drug possession case involving a young black man he had arrested. The woman at the center of the incident was Captain Lorraine Baxter, a 42-year-old veteran law enforcement officer who had recently been appointed as the new police chief of the Denver PD. Baxter had a distinguished career, starting as a patrol officer in Chicago before advancing through the ranks in various departments. She held a master's degree in criminal justice from Northwestern University and had led initiatives on community policing and bias training. Her appointment at Denver was announced quietly, with her official start date set for the following week. She attended the court hearing incognito, observing department personnel in action as part of her transition process. During the hearing, tensions escalated when the defense attorney questioned Riley's account of the arrest. The attorney suggested racial bias in the stop, citing statistics on disproportionate arrests in the area. Riley became agitated, his responses growing curt. Baxter, seated in the public gallery, took notes discreetly. When the judge called a recess, Riley approached the defense table, exchanging heated words with the attorney. Baxter intervened, standing up to de-escalate the situation by identifying herself as a concerned citizen and urging calm. Riley, mistaking her for a supporter of the defendant, turned on her with derogatory remarks laced with racial slurs, documented later by witnesses. In a fit of rage, he kicked her in the shin, causing her to stumble. Court security moved in, but before they could restrain him fully, Baxter composed herself and announced her identity. "I am Captain Lorraine Baxter, your new police chief," she stated clearly, producing her identification. Riley's face drained to color. He froze, unable to respond as the reality set in. The courtroom fell silent, with the judge demanding an explanation. Baxter, maintaining professionalism, requested Riley's immediate suspension pending investigation. The incident was captured on courtroom cameras, and the footage was reviewed by Internal Affairs. Investigations uncovered Riley's history of misconduct, including emails with racist content and complaints from black officers under his command. Baxter, in her first act as chief, initiated a department-wide review of bias incidents. Riley was charged with assault and placed on administrative leave. He resigned shortly after, facing civil lawsuits from Baxter and the department. The case drew national attention, with media outlets covering the irony of the assault on the incoming chief. Baxter used the event to implement reforms, including mandatory bias training and body cameras for all officers. Her leadership transformed the department, reducing complaints by 30% in the first year. Details from the investigation showed Riley had been warned previously about his behavior. Witnesses in court corroborated Baxter's account, noting Riley's aggressive posture. Baxter's background included service in the FBI before returning to local policing. Her appointment was part of a push for diversity in leadership. The kick caused minor bruising, but the psychological impact was addressed through department support. Media interviews with Baxter emphasized accountability. Riley declined comment, but sources close to him indicated regret. The story highlighted systemic issues in policing, sparking discussions on reform. To expand, Riley's career began in 2008 with commendations for drug busts but shadowed by complaints. In 2015, a black suspect accused him of excessive force settled out of court. Baxter, born in Detroit, overcame challenges to excel in law enforcement. She authored papers on community relations. The court date was October 15, 2023, in Denver County Court. The case was dismissed due to tainted testimony. Baxter's revelation came at 11:45 a.m., documented in transcripts. Internal Affairs report, released partially, detailed Riley's slurs. Baxter's reforms included hiring more diverse officers. Community response was positive, with rallies supporting Baxter. Riley moved to another state, working in private security. Baxter received awards for her handling of the incident. This account, based on public records and interviews, underscores the need for change in policing. Years later, in 2025, Baxter reflected on the event as a turning point. The department's culture shifted, with lower attrition rates. Similar incidents elsewhere cited this case as precedent. Baxter mentored young officers, emphasizing ethics. The kick, though painful, symbolized resistance overcome.